513 WMAZ Morning starts now.
It is a quiet start to what will be another unsettled day. I'll have the details on our rainy week ahead and when we could potentially experience severe weather. That's coming up.
Plus, the murder trial in the death of Fort Valley State student Anitra Gunn officially starts today. We explain the statements prosecutors hope to use.
Plus, a measure in Warner Robins could have an effect on city employees' wallets. What council's looking into and when they hope to make a decision.
The condition of I-75 in Peach County is driving one Byron man crazy. I'm going to tell you why that is and what GDOT says they're doing to fix it.
Well, good morning and happy Tuesday. What a beautiful purple colored sky over downtown Macon this morning. We love to see it. The time is 6:30 on this March 8th. I'm Caitlin Heck.
And I'm Wanya Reese. I'm happy, we're getting a little bit of sunlight earlier on because we get those beautiful sunrises in the morning now.
Wow, we've been so lucky with those two. It helps get a good start to your morning before, Courtney, things start to change as we go through the day. So we're at least starting on a good note.
That's right. Yeah, enjoy it because some mornings in the very near future might be a little bit rainy, so we might not get to experience some really nice sunrises like we're seeing right now. Love to see when we have some clouds out there to just really add that extra element to the sky. A beautiful morning here in the city of Macon. 57 degrees right now. If you are waking up with us in Macon, you're looking live on top of Atrium Health Navicent. Lots of people already making their way out the door. Maybe a light jacket, probably a good idea, especially if you're north of Macon. That cool air that is now filtering in behind our front, definitely present there. 50 in Monticello, 53 in Forsyth. We're at 59 in Cochrane, 60 down in Unadilla, and 64 in McRae, 65 in Vidalia. Our front that did move through yesterday, it's sitting about here. You can see where those arrows are starting to come together, so trapping in some extra moisture there, ultimately leaving you warmer for the start of the day. Live radar is nice and quiet for now, but that is going to change through the day today, potentially as early as late morning, but more so as we head into the evening. Mid-60s if you're Macon northward. You're going to probably be in the low 70s today if you're south of Macon. Let's talk about the potential for severe weather, maybe tomorrow. I'll have those details in a few minutes.
Well, thank you, Courtney. We start this morning with news that could impact your commute this morning to work or school. The Warner Robins Police Department posted this on their Facebook page just before 5:30, saying that there is a serious accident on Watkins Blvd.
Chief John Wagner tells us it was a single car accident and the car actually caught on fire. Right now, we don't know if anyone got hurt. Police say Watkins Blvd is shut down between Nelson Drive and Peacock Drive, so they encourage you to avoid that area and find a different route this morning. Well, this morning, the trial begins for the man accused of killing Fort Valley State University student Anitra Gunn.
Jury selection started and wrapped up on yesterday with over 80 potential jurors narrowed down to just 12 and 2 alternates. In the selection process, prosecutors focused on how potential jurors perceive domestic violence. They wanted to know if anyone in the jury pool is a victim of domestic violence or knows someone who is. Back in February of 2020, investigators say they believe Demarcus Little slashed Gunn's tires and threw a brick through her window.
The Assistant District Attorney Don Baskin says the state hopes to use Gunn's statements to friends and family that Demarcus Little abused her. Now, this is what potential jurors heard from the prosecution yesterday.
I've seen people even get upset with people who are in bad relationships. Why? Why do you keep doing this? But that aside, is there anybody who would say, she kept going back or he kept going back, so I'm not going to hold the abuser accountable because they kept coming back?
Little's lawyer argues the abuse allegations are only hearsay.
Judge Connie Wilford says they plan to have a pretrial hearing at 8:30 this morning to decide whether the jury will hear these statements. The trial is set to start an hour later at 9:30. The time is now 6:33 a.m. A man charged in connection to a shooting of his ex-girlfriend. A scam making its way around Putnam County causes leaders to take action, and a Macon Water Authority board member currently under investigation looks ahead to a different seat. Let's catch you up on the 3 headlines we're following for you this morning. A man is in jail following a shooting at a Macon hotel. The Bibb County Sheriff's Office says it happened at the Red Carpet Inn on Riverside Drive just before 9 yesterday morning. Deputies got a report that a woman and her ex-boyfriend, you see him there, 30-year-old Damon Taylor, got into an argument at the hotel when someone shot her. The woman went to the hospital. As of yesterday, she was in critical but stable condition. Investigators interviewed Taylor before charging him with aggravated assault. He's in the Bibb County Jail this morning without bond. As you start pulling out the tools to get your yard ready for spring, you may be a target for scammers. Con artists in Putnam County are targeting the elderly by offering to sell and install pine straw. Sheriff Howard Sill says the criminals quote a low price before the job, then demand more money once the project is done. Because of what's being called the pine straw scam, the county now requires any door-to-door solicitor to have a license. Macon Water Authority member Desmond Brown, who may get tossed off the board, is making new plans. He wants to run for chairman. Brown qualified yesterday, run for the county-wide at-large seat, which Sam Hart currently holds. Hart hasn't said whether he'll run again. Two other well-known candidates also qualified for the seat on yesterday. They are former Bibb County Commissioner and School Board Member Gary Beckel and Wesleyan College professor and former Macon City Council member Tom Ellington. In May, Bibb County voters will elect members of the Water Authority.
Now to headlines from across the state. Some groups may have to stop campaign fundraising during legislative sessions. Yesterday, the Senate Ethics Committee voted for Senate Bill 580. It would prohibit leadership committees affiliated with members of the General Assembly from taking contributions while lawmakers are in session. The measure now moves forward to the full Senate for more debate. Speaking of campaigns, Georgia's 2022 election field is starting to take shape as the major party candidates officially start qualifying. Democratic U.S. Senator Raphael Warnock and Republican Senate challenger Herschel Walker were the top names yesterday to file papers. Qualifying launches an 11-week run to the May 24th party primaries. There are major candidates in the governor's race who still need to file their papers. That includes Republican incumbent Governor Brian Kemp, top GOP challenger David Perdue, and top Democratic challenger Stacey Abrams. Atlanta Falcons wide receiver Calvin Ridley will sit on the bench this upcoming season. The NFL commissioner announced Ridley's suspension yesterday. A league investigation found the wide receiver bet on NFL games last year while he was away from the team addressing mental health concerns. The NFL says the betting happened during a 5-day period in November. The league says Ridley's suspension will carry through at least the end of the 2022 season.
The time is now 6:36 a.m. Extra money could be in the future for Warner Robins city employees. That was at a topic at yesterday's city council meeting. Originally, Councilmember Derek Mack wanted to do a pay scale study on all city employees. He says his goal is to give all department employees a raise. At yesterday's meeting, other council members agreed with him. They want to keep salaries comparable to those in nearby cities, and they want to retain the city's current employees with today's inflation. But they're under a tight deadline with July the 1st just around the corner for the city's new budget year. So Warner Robins Human Resource Director Tony Graham suggests adjusting all city employees' current pay and then doing a pay study down the road.
A pay study is going to take us to have to bid out that to get a company to come in to do a pay study, and then the actual study is going to take some time, and then to implement it, it'll be too late for the 2023 budget, so it'll have to go to the 24 budget.
Graham says 2/3 of the city's current employees are working on a pay scale that was set back in 2015. The next step is for council to agree on a percentage to increase the pay. There is no specific timeline or any figures right now, but mayor and council's goal is to increase salaries before the July 1st budget takes effect.
Well, Bibb County leaders want to make sure you have a say in the design of a new concert venue. Last week, they held 2 public input sessions for the Amphitheater going up around the Macon Mall. But if you missed those, there's still a way to share your thoughts and ideas. That includes what kind of food and drinks you want at the venue and what bands you'd like to see perform. Their county says that you can fill out an online survey that they have right now. It's open through Friday. 55 years of service. That is what the Loaves and Fishes Ministry in Macon will celebrate this October. And now they're expanding to help more people with a pavilion. Phase 1 of the project is the biggest part. It will give clients a space to sit while they have their meals. For Phase 2, they hope to add fencing, fans, heat, and a place for people to grab a shower. Executive Director Jake Farrow says they hope to break ground within the next 2 weeks and finish Phase 1 of that project at the end of April. Right now, the ministry does need money and financing for Phase 2. If you would like to donate, we have a link on how you can do that in the story on 13WMAZ.com. All right, the time is now 6:38. My car got a little washed last night. Some of that pollen is finally gone. We're going to look at the happy part of this rain.
See, and I told you, you were responsible and you washed your car over the weekend. I did not, because I knew the rain was going to do it for me.
It's so thick, too. I just like turn on the windshield wipers and you just see it just all. Ugh.
It's like paint. You know,
Yeah,
oh
not the fun
man,
paint.
no, yeah, not the fun kind of paint. No, that's for sure. Thankfully, yes, this rain helping to get rid of some of that pollen that definitely has been around after that really warm and spring-like week last week. This week, obviously carrying a very different story. Starting yesterday, we picked up some very beneficial rainfall. Whether you picked up 4/10 of an inch, whether you picked up just 1/10 of an inch, or whether you picked up close to 2 inches of rain like some of us did yesterday, no matter what you picked up, it's great. We need it. We are in about a 4-inch deficit for most of the area. Of course, this definitely helped with that. Area-wide, anywhere between where you see these really, really light blue colors, that's maybe just a trace amount, maybe 1/10 of an inch, to in some spots close to 2 inches of rain in northern Lawrence, parts of northern Pulaski, parts of Bleckley County. We love to see it. It was really nice to hear some rain on the roof yesterday. It was a nice little change to the forecast, and we will continue to have rain in the forecast as long as this front stays to our south. And this front is going to kind of jog back and forth the next couple of days. It's going to stay in the southeast, and that's going to keep us unsettled. But what we're going to be watching is this area of low pressure. You can see that darker green color there along the coast. That's a marginal severe threat. And tomorrow, that's what we are going to be looking at. All of the area under a level 1 of 5 threat. So an isolated threat, but we are going to be looking at the potential for all modes of severe weather. Talking the potential for maybe some small hail, damaging wind gusts upwards of 60 miles per hour, and then maybe a brief tornado. Now, I do think the greater hail and tornado threat lies in our southeastern counties and even more so south of the area. So closer to the coast, closer to the panhandle of Florida. But we're still going to take you through it because nonetheless, there is still a threat for it tomorrow. Today, just rain. We're not going to worry about any severe weather. Maybe could have a few rumbles of thunder as we head into the afternoon hours. Still going to look for that potential for some heavier downpours today, which again will be nice and welcomed. On and off, that's what we're going to be looking at. On and off rain starting in the late morning all the way through the evening hours. So for that ride home, you can see most of us dry. It looks like at least that's what the high res is saying right now, but you might need to turn those windshield wipers on. Just have that umbrella tucked away because you're going to need it, especially tomorrow. What's going to happen is that front, like I said, it's going to reorient itself. It's going to jog back and forth across the southeast, specifically across the state of Georgia. Tomorrow morning, here's 9 o'clock, could have some very heavy downpours push in from the west, so that could cause some issues for that morning drive tomorrow. We're going to take you further in time here. 9 o'clock, again, at this point, we don't have a lot of instability, but we could have enough wind shear in the atmosphere to be able to allow for a damaging wind gust threat in the morning. Again, very isolated threat. Not super concerned about the morning, but we're still going to watch for that, again, potential for maybe some gusty wind. I think it's at this point, as we head into the afternoon, when we really start to heat up, where we'll really be focusing on that potential for severe weather. And as this low starts to track into central Georgia, this is where I think the greatest severe threat lies tomorrow, to the south and east of this low. But again, I think in our southeastern counties, we'll be watching you as we head into the afternoon and evening a little more closely. Rain is going to continue all the way through Saturday. We'll have a cold front move in Saturday. That'll cool us down through the day. And we're going to wake up in the 20s by Sunday morning, and we'll stay dry Sunday and Monday.